The newly formed Bridging the Gap organization in the Mid-Ohio Valley held a donation drive at the One Church in Parkersburg. According to founding member Nikki Guilford, Bridging the Gap is an organization that helps assist over 20 other organizations in the Mid-Ohio Valley with different needs. The event encouraged people to donate items that helped with two of the most needed items one community organization needed most. Items included men's jeans, paper towels, and other clothing and hygiene products. Guilford says this event is something that helps those who are homeless.
We don't have very many shelters that they can go to they're full, and the ones that do provide are in desperate need of clothing to clothe these people that don't have much, and help connect them between the organizations that do help. Then that's what we do.
Adds there needs to be an organization to bridge the gap between the donors and the organizations that need the items to support others.